Okay, so you know how everyone's talking about spring coming? Well, guess what? It's more than just the weather changing.
Yeah, we're diving into the spring equinox today.
You got it. March 20th, 2025, 5:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's when it happens.
Mark it on your calendars, folks.
But we're going deeper than just the date.
Way deeper. Think astronomy, culture, the whole nine yards.
We've been combing through articles, websites, you name it, all to understand this thing called the spring equinox.
And it's fascinating stuff, let me tell you.
Right, like most people know it means spring starts, maybe something about equal day and night.
But why do we even have spring? What's so special about that one day in March?
It's like we take it for granted, but there's a whole story behind it.
Exactly. A story written in the stars, literally. It all boils down to how Earth interacts with the sun.
Okay, so let's break it down. First off, the word equinox itself is kind of cool.
It is. It's like a code word for what's happening in the sky.
It means equal night, right?
Yep. Equus in Latin means equal, and nox means night. Put them together, and bam, you've got equinox. A perfect description of that almost perfect balance between day and night.
Ah, I see. So it's not just a random day. The name itself tells us what's happening astronomically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that near equal day and night is caused by something pretty specific.
Yeah, lay it on me.
It's all about the sun crossing the celestial equator. Imagine Earth's equator projected out into space. That's the celestial equator.
Gotcha, like an imaginary line.
Right. And the sun appears to cross this line twice a year. Once moving north, that's the spring equinox, and once going south, that's the fall equinox.
So this whole equinox thing, it's not just a northern hemisphere party.
Nope. It's a global phenomenon. For that brief moment, day and night are almost equal everywhere on Earth.
Whoa, that's kind of mind-blowing.
Right, like a synchronized cosmic pause for the whole planet.
I love it. But let's get into the nitty-gritty. Why does this happen?
Well, it's all thanks to Earth's tilt and its journey around the sun. Our planet is tilted on its axis at about 23.5 degrees.
And that tilt is what gives us the seasons, right?
Exactly. As Earth orbits the sun, that tilt means different parts of the planet get more direct sunlight at different times of the year.
So most of the year, either the north or south is leaning towards the sun.
Yep. But during the equinox, things are different. Earth's axis is neither tilted towards nor away from the sun. It's like we hit a point of perfect balance.
So the sun is shining directly on the equator.
Bullseye. And that's why day and night are roughly equal all over the world during the equinox.
Makes sense. Now, something I've always wondered, why does the date of the spring equinox change? Sometimes it's the 19th, sometimes the 20th, even the 21st.
Ah, good question. You see, our calendar year is 365 days, but Earth actually takes a little longer to orbit the sun, about 365.25 days.
So we're like a quarter of a day off each year.
Precisely. And over 4 years, that adds up to an extra day, hence leap years.
Right, February 29th, to keep things in sync.
Exactly. But even with leap years, the match isn't perfect, so the equinox can shift slightly.
So it's all about our human attempts to measure time against this cosmic clockwork.
Exactly. And speaking of time, remember the equinox happens at 5:01 a.m. EDT on March 20th, 2025. That's specific to our time zone, right?
So even though the equinox happens at one specific moment, people around the world experience it at different times.
You got it. It's a universal event, but we perceive it locally through our time zones. Think of it this way. That same moment, the sun crossing the celestial equator, is 9:01 a.m. on March 20th in Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC.
So it's like a worldwide wave hitting different parts of the world at different clock times, but still, it's one wave.
Exactly, and it's a wave that has been celebrated by cultures all over the world for centuries.
Right, it's not just about the science. The spring equinox has a deep cultural meaning, too.
For sure. It represents rebirth, renewal, the world waking up after winter.
It's like a fresh start.
Exactly. A time for new beginnings, growth, a sense of hope and optimism. You can see this reflected in ancient agricultural practices. The spring equinox marked the start of the planting season.
A time to sow the seeds for the future.
Precisely. Many cultures have festivals and rituals around the spring equinox that celebrate fertility, growth, the return of light and warmth.
It's amazing how this astronomical event connects with human experiences across so many different cultures.
Absolutely. A great example is Nowruz, the Persian New Year. It falls on the spring equinox and is celebrated by millions of people across the Middle East, Central Asia, and beyond.
It's all about renewal, right?
Yeah.
Spring cleaning, new clothes, special foods.
Yeah. And symbolic acts of getting rid of the old and welcoming the new. It perfectly embodies the spirit of the spring equinox.
Nowruz is a beautiful example of how this celestial event intertwines with human traditions. Before we move on to the next topic, let's circle back to the astronomy for a sec. There was this term in our research, subsolar point. What's that all about?
Ah, yes, the subsolar point. Imagine a line drawn from the sun to the center of the Earth. The point where that line hits Earth's surface is the subsolar point.
So it's the spot on Earth where the sun is directly overhead.
You got it.
Yeah.
Now, because of Earth's tilt and orbit, this point moves around. Most of the year, it's somewhere between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn.
Okay, so what happens to the subsolar point during the equinox?
This is where it gets interesting. The equinoxes are the only times the subsolar point is directly over the equator.
So that's when the sun is directly overhead at the equator at noon.
Precisely. And that's why we have near equal day and night everywhere on Earth.
Ah, it all connects. So the subsolar point being over the equator is another way to understand why the equinoxes are so special.
Exactly. And as the sun continues north after the spring equinox, that subsolar point also moves north, leading to longer days in the northern hemisphere.
Which eventually leads us to summer. Longer days, warmer weather, all that good stuff.
Exactly. The spring equinox is like the starting line for that journey towards summer.
A cosmic kickoff. So we've covered a lot of ground here. The spring equinox is so much more than just a date on the calendar. It's this incredible astronomical event, a moment of balance and change, celebrated by cultures throughout history.
And it's a reminder of our connection to the cosmos, to the rhythms of nature, and to each other.
It makes you think, as we move from the darkness of winter towards the light of spring, what new beginnings are we embracing in our own lives? What seeds of hope are we planting?
It's a beautiful time to reflect on these things.
It is. So as we approach this equinox on March 20th, let's take a moment to appreciate the wonder of it all, the science, the culture, the human experience.
And let's welcome the new season with open hearts and minds.
Beautifully said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the spring equinox.
It's been a pleasure. Until next time.
See you then.